Greetings friends. In this short video I'd like to show you how to create a survey using Google Forms. Not only how to create it, but then how to send the form and also collect information. So the way to get to Google Forms, one way to get to it is to go ahead and go to Google and search for Google Forms. And once you get there, you might be asked to set up an account. Account is free, and once you do that, then you are able to have access not only to Google Forms, but Google Docs and Google Slide, other Google websites. So what we are going to do is start with a new form, and the very first thing you'll do is go ahead and give the form a name. So we're going to call this Test Survey. Now on the right hand side you'll see the tools that you'll use to generate this survey. Top some other commands that we'll get to a little bit later. So what we want to do is click right here, and it opens up this dialog box, and we're going to go ahead and ask some questions. In surveys, oftentimes the first question you ask is about some demographic information. In this case we're going to ask a gender question. So on the right hand side, if you click on this arrow key, it gives you the choices for the number of, or for the type of question you want to ask. We want a multiple choice question, and we're going to ask about gender. Now Google Forms sometimes will anticipate the kind of responses you might want to consider for a question. In this case, what is your gender? If we wanted to add all of these, we could. Those are the default answers to this kind of question. Male, female, prefer not to answer. And notice it has other here. Some in this in our society we have some folks who may not want to identify with the traditional categories for gender and might want to click this category. So let's say we are going to include that, and these will be our categories. If we like this, we will go ahead and click the Add a Question. What that does is it saves this question and then allows us to ask another. So in this case we want to go ahead and ask a different type of question. In this case we want to get a answer to a question that might be related to our study. So since this is a class that this video goes along with the class, we are going to ask the question, do you or I find EDRH 795 helpful in preparing me to complete my thesis. Now, the art of asking questions is covered in another part of the course, but we want to use this kind of a question to show you how you can use linear scales. We could use a Likert scale and give them 4 multiple choices: strongly agree, or strongly disagree, disagree, agree, and strongly agree. But as we noticed in class, we like to use linear because of the flexibility it gives us in our answers. We're going to use a 1 to 7 point scale, and with linear what you do is you label the poles, the 1 and the 7. So we are going to say strongly and strongly agree. And we would then add the next question. So we have 2 questions in our survey: a gender question and then a linear scales question. We call them semantic scales. If we did want to add a Likert scale kind of question, we would do multiple choice, and you could say something like this: I find this video helpful. In this case, we're going to have 4 answers. Our answer to option 1 is strongly disagree. We're going to add another one, disagree, agree, and strongly. We go ahead then and add a new question, and we have the makings of the beginning of our survey. So if that's it, if we were done, we would go then and either print this or send this out. If you wanted to move a question around, you could click on that question, drag it up to another part of the survey. Now, we could go on and explore other kinds of questions that you might want to ask. For our purposes, this would be good enough. This program also has the flexibility of allowing you to add images, add videos, or divide it up into sections. For our purposes, we want to go ahead and show you what to do if you wanted to administer this survey paper and pencil. You would click on these 3 dots here, go to Print, and then open in a PDF form. And this is the PDF version of the survey. You could print this out and send it to whomever you would like to send it to. If you wanted to actually send this out to individuals, you would click the Send button, and you would type in individually all the different email addresses. And I'm not going to actually put in actual email addresses here, but test@gmail. And if you wanted to send it out to more, you would hit the semicolon, space, and so on. Once you did that, then once you hit send, you would it would go to that recipient, and immediately so, and they would be able to complete the survey online. I'm going to go ahead and type in my email address. I'll black this out when I actually edit the video, but it will show you how it works. Email has come to me, and I blanked out my own email address. It would show up with yours, and if you click on the fill out the response, the person would go ahead and complete this online and submit. You then would go back to the Google Forms, and you would see that the responses are starting to be collected. If you wanted to actually do something with this data later, you would click here, and then you would click on here, and you would say download responses. You would click on this command, and you would then have the forms downloaded. You'd have to open up this folder on your desktop, and you would have then a spreadsheet which would have all the data in it that you would collected, and then you could process it using any number of tools. The one we use in this class is VassarStats. I hope you found this helpful, and that this will help you design your survey.